Now that's a great shot right there, guys. Squirrel ass. Hey guys, as you know, yesterday we got our Kawa scope. Also yesterday, we received our adapter from B&H Photo that goes on our digital cameras. And then I told you guys I ordered the actual adapter that goes over top of the scope, has to connect to that adapter, but we ordered it from China, and I was like, well, it's supposed to be here like June 13th was the date they gave me. Guess what just showed up? Surprise! So now we can hook this up to one of our Sony E-mount cameras and try the scope out. I've got a couple hours before baseball, so let's try this thing out. So you put your TSN adapter onto your whatever camera you have. Then you have to remove the eyepiece from your scope. Then you have to unscrew this ring right here. Then we have to take our new adapter and we take our adapter and we screw it on where that protective ring was. Then we can remove this part. So essentially we've just replaced that protective ring with one that this will fit over. Then we take our adapter, we flip it around after we remove the protective cap, and we screw it onto our camera body. Take your eyepiece and put it back into the scope, and then the final step is to mount the camera back over top of the whole unit, and then screw these down to hold it in place. So I can tell you guys that right off the hop, this is on a Manfrotto plate on this, and because this is so extended with the weight of the camera back here, I've slid this all the way forward as far as it'll go. We cannot go any further than that, and there's no way to balance it. So when you're on if I loosen it, watch what happens. The weight of the camera brings the whole system down. So that's a bit of a downfall there. So I'll just show you guys. Right away we do have our red peaking for manual focus, which is awesome, right? If something's not in focus, it's not highlighted in red. And we can, use all our tools here on the back of the camera to figure out exactly. So we have our peaking, but we also have our focus assist. So I can zoom in 10 times and, manually just tweak the little tiniest bit to get everything exactly in focus. I didn't want to take a picture there, but... So that's a good example. We're going to set your camera up with a timer, so a 5-second timer. So when you take your hand off, it's going to shake for a few seconds. See, look at the wobble. Also, I have my camera set up for this C3 button here. If you push that, that turns on our digital teleconverter. So then we can zoom up to, I don't go any higher than 1.4. Down here it shows you 1.4. So if you look at the screen, you can see we're actually just moving in ever so slowly. It does go up to 2 times. I find you lose quality at the 2 times digital converter. We can take one just for giggles, see what it looks like. I just want to take our 600mm lens with a 1.4 teleconverter on it. And so we're full frame. That's a full frame camera. And I want to show you guys the field of view, the tree that we were looking at, and how much we're zoomed in versus with the scope, because the math that they gave me should be closer than it actually is. So that's as close as we can zoom into our tree. Our tree is the one right here with the branch going across in front of it, okay? So that's what the whole scene looks like from edge to edge. If you guys look at how zoomed in we are, I'll then take you back over to the image we took over here. And that's how zoomed in we are with the scope. So light gathering is going to be an issue, right? We've got to bump that ISO up to like 4,000 instead of 500 to get the same result, but we're going to be zoomed in. I mean, I don't know what the actual numbers are just from looking at that, but I'm sure we could figure out the math somehow. All I need to know is that in the frame, the tree takes up 2/3 more than it does over here. Keeping it in mind, the image isn't as good over there. We can crop that, but it doesn't have the detail in it. When you zoom in, the detail's not there like it is from the actual lens made for a camera setup. There is more detail in this system. You're just not zooming in. You're 33% less zoomed in. No, you're 60%. Yeah, probably about 60% more zoomed in over there than here. That number is not an exact number, okay? For anybody who's going to sit down and now calculate this out and say, Gary, you're an idiot. I know, I'm just going by what I'm seeing in the screen. I'm going to try to swap systems here. Take this lens and camera off, put that lens and spotting scope over here and see if we can balance it. Well, so much for that idea. That's pushed as far ahead as it'll go. And it's never going to be able to balance that on there. Because the scope is so light and the camera, the extension is so long and the camera is heavy, never going to happen. I'll put it back on the Manfrotto for now and I'll just kind of make do. And we'll try to find some longer plates or something for that other tripod. The video head is what I want it on anyway. If we can get decent 60 megapixel photos out of the Kawa system, that's just a bonus. Where I'm hoping this is going to shine is with the phone system, and we can get 4K video using the phone. I'm hoping that that's going to be, we don't have this big heavy extender. That should balance on my tripod of choice here. Less stuff to carry around, and we can still get 50 megapixel images with the phone. So that's what I'm hoping is going to be the go-to with the spotting scope. This was just an idea, hey, maybe a little better quality with these. And for 200 bucks, right? When you own all of the equipment already, you have to buy the adapter and try it at least, which is what we're going to go do right now. Okay, apple blossoms over there, 50 feet away on my apple tree. 60 times zoom, let's see what that looks like. Tom's cat from 40 feet. Let's see how that looks. Vicious wildlife right there. Oh, you son of a bitch. "25 times is actually too much zoom. I don't want to be that close." Can you even see him up there? Well, I've got him framed in here. See what that video looks like. So like I said, guys, that extra 50% on little things like squirrels and small birds, it's going to make a huge difference. If we were here in this position with my other lens, he would take up, this much of the frame kind of thing. Now he's like right there in your face. It's actually too much zoom. There can never be too much zoom, but you know what I'm saying. So actually I tightened up my fluid drag here, guys, as tight as it'll go. And now we can actually let go, and I can still move the camera up and down very slowly, but when I let go, it actually stays there. So this might work. So there is a crop when you do video on these E-mount cameras. The image zooms in a little bit more. And that is a huge pain in the butt because you frame up what you want to get in there, you push the record button, and then it zooms in, and then you cut the squirrel's head off, you know, or whatever, the bird. It's always been a problem, and it's even more so with digiscoping. And that is why you buy good equipment, because we can tighten that drag system all the way up, and it's very smooth. Just the slightest touch, and we can move the camera up and down. Still very smooth. Okay, so just a preliminary test today, guys. It's quirky. We knew it would be, but I am impressed with the quality, I believe. We'll take a closer look on the computer, and hey, there's nothing we can do about it now, right? We own the system, and like I said, I think this is just a bonus part of owning the scope because we're going to use it for lots of different things.